Hello, I'm Jeff Cantrell. I'd like to introduce a application called Timetoast from the internet. It's a timeline creator and it can be very useful for many types of content areas in school, especially for things like history and the social studies. When you first go to timetoast.com, then this is the opening page here, the first page. And this is before you have an account, of course. Now you can browse and find other people's timelines that have been created. Here's one that's already showing up just automatically, and it'll be a random one that shows up. And we can use that, or we can go to something else. Let's say we can go to space. Okay, we can search for space. And we can see that we have a NASA space program timeline that we can always click on and check it out. And it's created by Toaster and Space and Technology. So you can see when you're looking at these timelines, you see the general idea. It shows all these different events that are located on these little blue dots. Okay, it's very simple. And you can click on any of those and it'll make it larger to where you can read about it. In some cases, often it's going to have an image associated with it. It's going to have the date, and in some cases it might be a web link that takes you to more important or other information that goes with it. Okay, so that's looking at other people's timelines. You can create your own. Of course, you have to have an account first, and like always these days, oftentimes then the accounts are for pay, but there is a free account as well that you can get into, and it just doesn't have all the bells and whistles. You have to, as usual, choose a username, provide an email address, and a password. At that point, you would have your own login to where you can create your own. I've already created my own, so trying to type with one hand and hold the mic with the other. So now this is a timeline that I've already created earlier to show how to do it. And what I'll do with this real quick is I'm just going to go ahead and delete this timeline and redo it. But I'm not going to redo the entire thing because it would take too long to do that. But let's say we want to go ahead and start making a timeline. We just say add a new timeline. And in this case, I did the presidents of the 21st century. Okay, and I categorized it as a history timeline. Now, a time span, again, presidents, let's put something as a title. My time span was the inauguration dates, so I went from the 20th of January 1993, which is when William Jefferson Clinton was inaugurated, until the 20th of January 2009, which is when Barack Obama was inaugurated the first time. So those are the three individuals who have been president of the United States during the 21st century. Admittedly, Clinton was president just a few days actually, in January. So add the event. Okay, the event I'm going to add would be Clinton. And again, that date that I'm adding is that inauguration date back in 1993. So for the purpose of brevity, I've already made some notes for this. I can just copy and paste it in there. so those are some facts I want to share about Clinton. Okay, he was born when he was elected, when he was inaugurated, second president to be impeached, and was not removed from office because he wasn't found guilty by the Senate. Okay, so I could have added whatever. I also want to insert a link, and in this case, my link, again, I'm going to copy and paste to make it quicker since I'm holding a mic with one hand and typing with the other. I'm going to link up to the Presidential Library, so I have to put a text that will provide the link, and then the URL of the web link, and this is the URL. And again, I can just copy and paste that in there. And the final thing I would do for each of my entries, I'd go ahead and choose an image. Now in my case, I've already uploaded the images. If the images hadn't already been uploaded, you simply upload the image, and that uploads it into the working space here, and then they're going to be there. In my case, I've already done it, so it's going to be a lot quicker, which is good for us. Okay, and then I create that event, and you can see how that shows up now on our timeline. I would continue to do this. I won't go as detailed for the next ones. Continue to do this for the other two persons who have been president this century, and that would have been George W. Bush. Again, his information that I've already created in advance. I can copy and paste it into there. And I can also insert that link for his presidential library as well. And of course I have to provide the URL address to make that link live. And I would want to upload that image. And that's all. Create his event. And the final individual then would be Barack Obama. And again, you can see it's January 20th. It's not always January 20th, but for the most part it is, except for when January 20th is a Sunday. So it's almost always January 20th. Okay. And I can go ahead and copy and paste the information I've got for President Obama. He doesn't have a presidential library yet, so I don't have to put that link in there for him, but I will put his image in there. And there's that event. Okay, so I have 3 events on my timeline. I've got the inauguration of Clinton, I've got the inauguration of George W. Bush, got the inauguration of Barack Obama. So I'm done with this timeline now. I can view the timeline. Now I also could have put an image in that would replace this spot here with an image. So now, when I view the timeline, then it's got that image goes with it. Okay. What I cannot collaborate. I don't have the. I didn't sign up for that. Sign up for the free version. That doesn't allow me to collaborate and add so many users. but I can still do most other things. Okay. For one thing, I can click on each one of these. I can see what it says. Okay. Then I can click onto the links when they're there, and there's the George W. Bush Library there. Okay. Go back to our timeline. I can also see, instead of it seeing as a timeline, I can see as a list, so that the events are put in chronological order this way as opposed to being on a timeline. That could be pretty handy. And the final thing that's really handy is to be able to make it a public timeline. And once it's public, then I could allow other people to like it via Facebook or Twitter, or embed the code into other applications, or have a direct URL link to this timeline. And I'm sure we all know the benefit of that after being in this class for a while. So that is how Timetoast works, and I think you could probably see the educational benefit. Students can create their own work to share with the class. Teachers can create timelines to further improve students' understanding of different events, and they can be shared throughout the class and amongst the student body. So thank you for your attention, and have a good day.